So we just got the Subaru XT back from the acid dippers, and they've done a great job. It's nice and clean now, ready for us to start our work. It's a lot worse than we thought it was going to be. I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's really bad. It's a lot worse than we ever thought it was going to be. We've got to work it out with this one. Alright, so the car's just arrived. First thing to do is go and have a look at what's left.
Some properly seen, well, but no. But on a good note, you seen these strut tops? Mint. Do you know what was saving money? Roof off, coupe, roof on. If you can find one. But
you ain't going to get a coupe roof. You ain't going to get nothing for this.
It's a say you can sort of work out a bit of a profile then somehow.
To repair that'd be easy. Because it's just the intersection, it's just the flanges welded from underneath.
These out here, but these are in there. You take that out there, they'll be on the back of that.
Yeah.
On the sunroof, you've got the two things that just hook under, and that's what it just pivots on. Bulbs.
Making these inner bits no problem, but that's the least of our worries. There you go. Shit.
Add the pallet and the forklift underneath it. That'll plenty.
Yeah.
They've put a new. That's been replaced. This has all been replaced, and across to there. So when it says that, pull the corner out because this has been welded to that bulkhead. So this has been heavy. It's at some time, and it's had this and that put in, and that's why the bulkhead's just been hammered back to touch it, and now been repaired properly. So it'd have been a heavy. That was corner. Yeah. What's the problem? Is that?
That's the trouble, and it adds so much time. You can't. It's the stuff you can't estimate, can you? Put a side on quicker than all these bits.
If you've got a quarter,
one is cutting out.
Quarter on there, no time at all.
Yeah.
So you need to back in that section, that section. You can fucking treble it, quadruple it, couldn't you? Easy.
I'll ask him to see if he can start looking. I mean, someone will have panels for it somewhere.
Yeah.
And they'll probably cost the earth, but it's still cheaper.
Yeah.
So the car's had some crash damage in the past, which we knew about. We knew it had some work done here before, but it was well covered up. It's dented here, it's been crumpled. They've probably put it on a jig at some point and pulled it back into some sort of shape. There's a lot more rust here than we thought. You're always going to find more work than you think you need when you get things acid dipped. But the problem with this one is you can't get repair panels for it. So all these little bits of rust, we're gonna have to hand make all of these little bits. It's here, there. You know, there's bits here, it's blown out. There's bits in here which are really awkward to get to. This has just been done really badly. I think they've probably put the front end of another car onto it at some point. So they put the front end of the chassis leg on there and stitched it in there. That side they put the full front end on, and actually that looks kind of nice. We could use that and make it proper. That's been smashed down there, that's all crumpled, that's a mess. Don't know what we're gonna do with that. We knew this front section here was blown out and that's a mess. That needs sorting. Same on this side, that's all pitted and a mess. We'll have to figure that out. There's holes up here. No, bits like that, they're not that bad, but it's just another bit that we've got to make. Sunroof is a mess. That's worse than we thought. I'm actually wondering whether we should just get rid of the sunroof now and actually just weld the whole sunroof hole up. We'll figure it out as we go, really, and we get into it. The floor down there, that's a mess. That's been smacked in. Obviously, it's had crash damage and someone just hit it with a hammer just to push it back. The floors are dented and a mess. There's holes there, there's patches there. The sills are a mess. Both sides have been pushed up and they're rusty. Roof's all dented, which is why I'm thinking maybe it's best just to put a roof on it. Arches, They're not too bad, but it needs panels down the bottom. This is rusty. There's rust here. There's rust at the bottom, which I knew about. It needs panels in here. It's a lot. That's just on the shell. So the one door, this has had the bottom done in it badly. So we're gonna have to take all that off, see what's left behind there, and then remake an inner, and then remake the bottom as well. This is all dented. There's dents here. The rest of it, I think, is all right, though dented. Actually, there's a bit there. That door there, that's had the bottom put onto it badly. That will need redoing inside and outside. Wings, they're salvageable, completely salvageable. This had a great repair. I mean, check that. Rather than just make a little bracket, they just tacked a little washer on there. That's lovely. So we're gonna have to fix that. That's kind of an easy fix. The boot is really nice. That's a really nice panel. It needs a little patch put into it, not much at all. And I think the bonnet over there, I think that's good as well. So panel wise, bottoms of doors, you can expect to do the bottoms of doors. That's not too bad. Wings, you know what, it's just a shell. But with a shell, because we're doing Impreza running gear swap, I'm now thinking, should we just kind of do a bit of a body swap or a chassis swap? So we could really do with getting the Impreza here, taking measurements off it, and seeing if we could at least maybe use the bulkhead, maybe use the front struts off the Impreza and jig it all up, make a jig for it so that we can keep the outer shell but put the Impreza or sections of the floor in. Boot, and even if we just use the front and the back of the Impreza, if that is even possible, depending on widths and sizes and lengths and stuff, that would be really cool. Okay, so repairs have started on the Subaru XT now. We're onto the doors. Door bottoms can always be a bit of a pain, and with this car, you can't get repair panels. You can't get anything for it, so you're gonna have to hand fabricate almost everything on the body, then everything else is gonna be custom, so hopefully we can work around a few problems there. Dan has already been busy with this, and the inner section has already been remade. So that is the old section. Yeah, it's a bit cobbled out there, but that had been put on by somebody else in the past. It was a poor repair, to be fair. So the old repairs, all the welds have been ground out, and that new one has been put on there. So that looks stock now. You'll need a little skim of filler afterwards, but that is looking really, really good. Now, around here as well, now this car's had some must have had a bad crash at some point on the driver's side. And it also, we know it's crumpled the front end up, they've done the front, but it also pushed this door hinge back, and pushing that door hinge back by about 10 mil has pushed this back, and it's pushed it out of the seam. So where you can see the lip of that there, that should be inside that lip up to there. So it's pushed it back about 8 mil. So first thing got to do, and it should be quite simple really. And luckily it's split it there, which we can make nice. Someone's welded that up. We're gonna get a bracket, make a bracket, slide hammer that back, bit of panel beating. That should come back pretty easy. Biggest thing on this though is the door bottom, which is rotten. And it needs repairs on the inside there. So we've got to do it in different stages. You can't just go off and just chop that off and just make it. You've got to keep your datum points. So first thing Dan's going to do is slice off that section there. Remove that because that's still good. The lip on the back is still really good. It's a bit mullered there, but we can panel beat that back nice. That'll be fine. We're going to take that off, do a small repair on the inside, put that back, so we're not messing that body line up. On the other side, the way I've decided to do it is to slice it there. Again, keeping that old section there because the fold around there is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. So we're going to keep that and just replace the bit in the middle. So we're going to do slice that, keep that, and rather than do it there, because whenever you weld, it's always going to create distortion. Like you can't get away from it. So what we will do is TIG weld that from side to side. We can panel beat that as flat as we can then, metal finish it before bodywork. But of course we've got the acid dip and everything before that. But what we're going to do is do the cut in the section, in the middle of these two sections there because there's more strength in that section. So that's what we're going to do. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Luckily, it's all straight lines. So once the small repairs are done, I'm going to make this panel up. There's a slight curve to that. You sort that out. Put a fold in it there, put a fold in it there, weld it from side to side, double check it on the car, make sure all the door gaps are good, and then fold that back, and job done. Sounds really easy, doesn't it? It's not. You got to take your time with stuff like this. You know, 1 millimeter out and your door gap's wrong. If you rush your welding, you're going to warp hell out your door. So it's about taking your time, getting it right, getting it done first time. So yeah, it's got some work to do, but the rest of it is really good. So Dan's about to start on the second door. Done a wicked job on the first one. That's looking really, really good. This one's a little bit easier, if anything, because it's just that. There's no little repairs on the rest of it. It's been made a mess of, though. It's not just rust, it's bad repairs on top of the rust, which is unfortunate, really, because they've really made a mess of this bit down here, and it's all dented from warpage of where they've put all these tacks on and stitch welded it and stuff. So we've got to take the repair bigger than it actually needed to be. What Dan's going to do is take it up to this first top swage there, but then we've got the intricacies of these two raised sections there. So what we thought of, the easiest way to do it is to make all of this in one panel, but then leaving these sections, because there's nothing wrong with these. They're actually pretty good. We've got a good weld, grind off these welds on the top of it, tidy this bit at the bottom, but what he's going to do is make a full strip, cut it down there, and then weld those two pieces back into it. So it's just minimizing it, really. We couldn't keep those. We could remake them if we wanted to. It's just not worth it. If it's there and there's nothing wrong with it, keep it. Always keep the repairs to a minimum. Stock metal is normally, it's just easier, it's better, keeping more originality in the car as well. So once that one's done, and be on to the outer skin, exactly the same as the other one. And then that's all the panels done. I said Dan's been busy on the XT. Now, underneath this bit, you'll have seen there's multiple panels. It's crazy actually how many panels are underneath this that needed to be made, because you've got a floor section which forms part of the inner sill, then you've got the inner sill, the middle sill, the outer sill, which is actually two panels, a panel on the inside. This outer sill forms part of what would be the rear quarter, so that's about to get full welded here. So it was easier to take this panel off and then weld that along that swage line. The reason we cut it along the swage line is because that's the strongest part of that panel. So it minimises distortion, which is what you're always trying to do when you're welding anything, really, because heat causes distortion. So try to do it in a way that minimises it, which then minimises the amount of panel work you have to do afterwards, or panel beating. And then that minimises the amount of filler work you got to do. So it's cutting down your actual work. And what you want to do really at the end of it is make the metal look as perfect as possible. So it looked like it was never done, if that's even possible. When you've got multiple panels, it's difficult. It would have been easier just to put a rear quarter on this if we could find one, but that's impossible. You know, you've also got panels back here, all over the place, but this side is coming to an end now. We've got exactly the same to do on the other side, and then we'll probably jump onto the roof. And the reason we're jumping all over the place is because a lot of this stuff might have to actually be cut out and modified, because when we do the chassis, it's almost like a chassis swap. We're gonna have to make the subframes off the Impreza fit on this. Plus, there's virtually no room in there for a decent sized tyre. So all that might be chopped out and make custom inner tubs. But we're gonna have to figure out that at a later date. So the first thing to do is to get everything solid as much as we can do. And when it comes to the points where we think might have to actually just chop the parts out, like the front end, like the inner wheel arches, we'll get the donor car in, get the measurements, figure that lot out further down the line. So yeah, it's coming together though. So Dan's been busy on the XT now. There's been a ton of plates underneath here, like obviously your inner sill, part of the floor as well. Then you've got your middle sill, your outer sill, which is inside there. And then you've got this outer sill, this piece of the outer sill, this one overlaps. And then obviously you've had a repair here, repairs on the inside. I think it's about 10 panels that have had to be made from scratch to put into there. So it was easier to cut this whole panel off. Panel beat this up as well. So what we're gonna have to do now is take time and weld this back in. Weld all this back in as well. You can get up to there a little bit to panel beat it, but it's really awkward. So it's just time consuming. That's all it is, spreading the heat. Heat causes distortion, which you're always gonna get no matter what you do with welding. So it's just a case of minimizing it and doing it in a way whereby we can get in there afterwards, panel beat that panel back so it minimizes the amount of filler work we've got to do. And then that's this side, outer panel's done. Got the same to do on the other side. It's virtually exactly the same side to side. And then we'll work forward, doing this section, working forward. But I think by the time we get to the front bit, we're gonna need the donor car here. So I think when we come to the front bit, what we'll probably do is do the sunroof. And so all the back outer skin of the car is completely restored, solid, finished. We can tick it off the list. Then we're gonna have all the modifications to do. We'll figure out how to do the modifications. So that's just weeks away yet. So we're concentrating on all these little bits first. All the inner arches, we might have to cut those out, which is why we're doing it last. So it might look a little bit weird the way we're doing bits, jumping onto the side, jumping onto the roof. You know, generally you just concentrate on one area and get that done. So there is method to the madness. That all might be going chopped up and remaking inner tubs, but we're gonna figure that out at a later date. So the quartet is all done now, and that's a wrap on this video. This is going to take months to do. There's so much metal work on this just to get it restored before we can start customizing it. So that's it for this one. Next up is the other side, and then we're going to start working forward and up onto the roof as well. So yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot to come on this one.